Have you noted that when you've started to sleep more, you actually become more exhausted? Perhaps you thought this was strange, and maybe this has made you a bit anxious and worried. If so, this episode is for you. In this episode, we are going to understand post arousal fatigue in a way which leads to more peace of mind, peaceful sleep, and feeling rested. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing really, really well and that you've had a wonderful, peaceful, and restful summer. I'm back after taking a few months, away from producing new content and new videos. During the summer, I had the great pleasure of visiting a family in the Philippines. My wife is from the Philippines, and uh, a family member of ours turned 50, so he was celebrating his birthday, and so we get to spend some time there, which was super nice. And then we did a quick stop in Tokyo, as well as a little kind of vacation within a vacation where we went to Mount Fuji, and that trip was also very, very nice. But now I'm back home, rested, and I have tons of ideas for new content, new educational videos, and more. So yeah, very, very glad to be back and to talk about today's topic, post-arousal fatigue. In fact, what happened was that I'd say now it's probably like 4 or 5 months ago. Coach Chris uh, was asking in our Slack channel. He was saying, "Hey, Daniel, do you have a video on post-arousal fatigue? I have somebody I want to share it with." And I was like, "Of course I do." And I was searching, and I was like, "Whoa, we don't." And this is such a common topic, a concept that comes up every now and then. So I was really surprised we didn't have a video on post-arousal fatigue. So, anyways, here it is. Now, the reason we're talking about this is that the following is a very common experience. Somebody finds our community, our teachings, and is understanding more, and is finding that they are starting to sleep easier. Sleep is starting to happen. They sleep longer, but then start to feel more tired, more drained, more fatigued, or just tired. Just, somebody may say, like, I wasn't even tired before, but now that I'm sleeping longer, now I actually feel really, really tired. And that can be very surprising and puzzling and frankly concerning. Many people think there must be something wrong because as I'm sleeping longer, I should be more rested. I should feel better. So what's going on? And whenever we think something is wrong with us, that can lead to some struggle. Leads to kind of problem solving and worrying, et cetera, et cetera. So understanding what's happening with us is always very, very helpful. So this is the reason why we're doing this today. So let's start here, talking very briefly about what insomnia is. Insomnia really, in our understanding, is a struggle that comes from a fear of not sleeping or a fear of being awake. And whenever we are are in a kind of fearful state, whenever we are frazzled, worried, that leads us to a state of hyper arousal. Arousal, we can think of it as sort of alertness that in our day to day life, going about our business, we are somewhat aroused. We need to be a little bit aroused, so aware of what's going on, right? It's normal and typical. But when again we're frazzled or scared, we are put in a state of hyper arousal where we're really paying attention. We're really checking what's going on. We're on alert. We're kind of in fight or flight mode. So whenever we're scared, we are going to be hyper aroused. Now, in the state of hyperarousal and fear, we actually do spend a lot of energy. We're continuously thinking about whatever problem we have and how we're going to solve it, right? And we're researching and tinkering and doing things, and that the mental energies that we spend in problem solving is quite significant. If anyone has ever had like a big exam, for example, and we're really super focused during an exam, we know that we spend a lot of energy just by really, really thinking about something. And so we do spend a lot of energy when we're in this frightened state. And in the context of insomnia, not only can we feel tired because we're spending so much kind of mental energy on this problem, but also because we're sleep deprived. We sleep little, which does, regardless of how you think of it, in itself, sleep deprivation in itself leads us to feel, somewhat tired, right? So this is going on, but often we actually do not really feel it. We don't feel tired. We don't feel tired during the struggle. And this is similar actually to how we don't necessarily feel tired during a soccer game or any like sports, any sports we're doing. If you interrupt, a tennis player when they're playing a really like intense game of tennis and say like, do you feel tired? They'll probably go, no, 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 let's keep going, I'm ready, let's go, let's go, let's go, right? And why is this? Because it is, in a kind of competitive game of tennis, let's say, you're also in a hyperaroused state. You're not, not exactly like insomnia. It's not like a perceived threat that we're trying to escape, right? But you're also scared of losing and you want to win, and both of those kind of lead us to this hyperaroused state as well. And so it's similar in that sense. But what happens when the game is over and let's say you get home and you're just kind of chilling out at home? Now, what may happen is that this all this adrenaline, the cortisol, all these hormones that were, at high levels due to how we were thinking about the game, or how we were thinking about sleep, or how we were thinking about something else. I'll sneak in that comment there about the hormones because often people think like, oh, something's wrong with the hormones, but our hormones are released as a result of how we are thinking about a situation. So just want to point that one out there. But anyway, as we no longer think that there is any threat or any victory to had or anything like that, the cortisol levels go down, adrenaline levels go down, like all these stress hormones settle. And then after this intense game of tennis we had, for example, when the hormones settle, then we can feel like, whoa, oh, my ankle is sore. Oh, I'm really tired. Whoa, you know. Now we're starting to feel how tired we truly are, and this is what we call post arousal fatigue, fatigue that we feel after the arousal. And this happens when arousal is withdrawn after a soccer game or tennis match or something like that, or when we are no longer scared of not sleeping. In other words, post arousal fatigue is also felt as insomnia is left, as our fear goes down. And now, if we look at this statement that we had in the very beginning, somebody saying, I'm sleeping more, but now I feel exhausted. We can kind of break this statement down into two sections and um, and see how they both make sense in light of what we just talked about. So the first part, which is like, I'm sleeping more. Well, that's because the hyperarousal is fading. The hyperarousal is also what keeps us awake. And when that fades, we sleep more. But now I'm exhausted. Comes from the exact same place because the hyperarousal is fading. So the entire sentence, I'm sleeping more, but I'm not, but I'm now exhausted, both make total sense. They're in harmony. They're like, yes, of course, this is happening. Both these experiences are easily explained by hyper arousal fading. Another kind of wording that you may hear myself or other coaches use is that hyperarousal masks fatigue. There is kind of fatigue building up in our body, but this is masked by hyperarousal, and this is because like when we are in a state where the brain thinks there's something really important happening, that whatever that important thing is, or whatever the brain thinks is important, that is prioritized. So all, our focus is on that. That's what we're paying attention to. So we don't feel tired, or there'll be other things too. We might have had like a shoulder that had been bothering us, but then we had all this like struggle with sleep, and we kind of totally forgot about the shoulder. And then when the hyperarousal is fading and we're sleeping easier again, then we may also feel like, oh, that I'd forgotten about the sore shoulder I have. Now I feel it again, right? So that wasn't the priority before, but now it becomes that again. And so we can also say then that hyperarousal fade, like when the hyperarousal fades, that can unmask fatigue and other things that we didn't pay attention to during that period of hyperarousal. Now, finally, here, why do we want to know all this? We kind of talked about it briefly before. But when we think something is abnormal, that something strange and unusual is happening to us, that there's maybe some problem with our health or problem with our sleep, and we think like, oh no, I shouldn't be feeling more tired, as I'm starting to sleep more, then we can be drawn back into another struggle, another situation of like, problem solving, hyperarousal, like, thinking that something's wrong with us. On the other hand, when we know something is typical and expected, even though we may not like it, I used to think that only like emotional fatigue felt unpleasant, and other types of fatigue, like from hyperarousal being unmasked, or like physical fatigue from like, physical activities, that felt pleasant. But that's not true. This post-arousal fatigue can feel very unpleasant. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when we know something is typical and expected, albeit unpleasant, it leads to resolution and peace, because now we're not going to go into a place where we start becoming scared of the fatigue, and like, we start having a fatigue struggle, for example. No, we're going to be like, oh, I see why I'm feeling more tired as I'm sleeping more. I know why this is happening. It's okay. And then, as we're no longer spending uh, a massive amount of like mental energy problem solving, and sleep deprivation is becoming less and less, and we start feeling well, etc., etc., then this post-arousal fatigue resolves, and we find ourselves where we want to be, a place of peaceful mind, peaceful sleep, and feeling arrested. That was it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as I'm now back from vacation, we're starting kind of the new season of learning, if you will. Really excited that you're here on this journey with us. Thanks for now. Hi there, it's me, Coach Daniel. I hope you found a lot of value in the video you just watched. And if you're looking for a bit more personalized support on your insomnia recovery journey, then head over to thesleepcrystal.com. I think it is the #1 resource for insomnia sufferers worldwide. And there you will find free programs as well as paid programs with certified sleep coaches. You can join a community of people who understand what you're going through because they've gone through it themselves, or they are on this journey of leaving the struggle and arriving where they want to be, just like you, that place of peaceful sleep and peace of mind. So again, I hope the video that you just saw brought a lot of value to you. And if you're looking for a bit more personalized support on your journey, then head over to thesleepcoachschool.com. And if you decide to join, we look forward to seeing you on the other side.